Hello everybody, so I thought I'd give a go to this TikTok live and just give some updates on my weight loss journey, which I've been doing now for, it's come at 13 weeks, so it's a quarter of a year, and I've gone from 30 stone to under 25 stone, which is 410 pounds to under 350, and in kilos I think I was 186 at my peak, and I'm down now to 156 and the change. So I'm very happy with that, and I'm happy the way I'm feeling. I can tell I'm looking better. My wife tells me I look like a normal fat person, which she says in jest, but it's encouraging, and I'm happy about it. Thing is though, what I recognise is when I look at myself, and if anyone looks back at my videos historically, they'll see I've lost a lot of weight. But when I meet someone from the first time and they see me, I'm a fat bloke. I'm still the fat bloke, which I was already. So I'm just less fat. I'm still morbidly obese, but I'm less morbidly obese. Now the good news, I've lost more than 10% of my body weight, which is an enormous benefit to my heart. That's fantastic. But it's a long journey, and looking at it, it's considerable weight loss, but I'm going to have to be doing this about a year. And then beyond that, I'm going to have to maintain the weight loss, which could be more challenging than losing it in the first place. I don't know. And I get asked questions about that, but the way I look at it is, I've got to cross that bridge when I come to it. I can think about it. It's foolish not to be proactive and to think about the future. But at the same time, I'm not there yet. And I've got to carry on with this journey, stay in the zone, keep the right state of mind, and I'll get there. Now, what's interesting, I made a video about this the other day, is I'm going for a job interview on Monday. And as I was saying in the video, I've had a lot of interviews over the last decade, and if I have an interview online through Skype in the old days, these days it tends to be more Zoom or Teams, I have the interview and I nearly always get the job. But when I'm invited for an interview, I rarely get a job. I haven't got a job in a face-to-face interview, and it's bizarre, but it's almost literally the way it is. So when I'm interviewing, I'll be like this, and people can see, I'm a little bit chubby for sure. You can see that from my upper body. But when you see my whole body face to face, and I'm being shown around a work environment and walking, and maybe I'm a little bit out of breath, particularly at my peak, then my chances go. So the face-to-face interviews, it's great that I've got an opportunity, because I really need a job. I'm working, but I need a better job, need more money for my family, etc. But I don't know if I'll get it, because I'm a fat bloke. And when they see me, they're going to draw conclusions that you're a fat bloke, so you're lazy, you're greedy, all the rest of it. Which, I don't know, I'm just trying to raise a bit of awareness of those issues. As I've said before, I've got a binge eating disorder. It's something which I've worked hard to overcome, and it's something I'm fighting, and I'll fight all my life. But I'm in the right place. My frame of mind is good, and I'm on the way to overcoming the binge eating disorder. And binge eating is a disorder like any other eating disorder. When I'm under stress, when I'm depressed, it can be the case that I'll go to the cookie jar, as they say. There were times more than a decade ago when I'd be driving to work and I'd stop at McDonald's, and at McDonald's I would get the breakfast, the full one. This is in days when I used to eat meat as well. And I'd have 2 or 3 burgers just on the way to work. On the way back, I'd stop, I'd have crisps, I'd have sugary drinks, I'd have snacks. And that was before I got home, and then probably had a full meal. Now, that was at the worst part of the binge eating disorder, and I'm not that bad anymore. In the last decade, it's more the case of, not being particularly healthy. And COVID, like for all of you out there, COVID didn't help at all. I was separated from my family for 16 months. I did well for quite a time. To be fair, I was in China, I was in Shanghai. My family were in Zambia to start with, where my wife's from, and then in England. And yeah, I was lonely. I was depressed without them. And eventually then it crept into having like a bottle of wine of an evening and, you know, snacks with it. And the binge eating kind of came back, and the drinking's always associated with it. And I wouldn't say I'm an alcoholic, but then who would, you know? But, you know, I like a drink, and it's great not to have had an alcoholic beverage now for 3 months. I'm proud of that. It's a real achievement for me, and I reckon I can take it through to the year if I stay in the zone. And, you know, I look back at the pictures and that encourages me. And everyone on TikTok almost literally has been so supportive. It's been wonderful to have all these different people encouraging me. And, you know, I thought when I came on TikTok, thank you my friend Mambanani. I'm married to an African, but my pronunciation's not always great. I knew it would be a challenge, but I thought I'd get more abuse on TikTok. I thought, you know, I would pick up some of the trolls like fat bloke, some of the harsh words that you get when you're overweight. But to be fair, it's nearly all encouragement. It's nearly all people who wish me well, give me tips and advice, and thanks for the tips. Fasting, I mean, as you say, I kind of am fasting because I'm using a very low calorie diet. So what I'll do is mainly eat food replacements from a company called Slim and Save. And the food replacement, like this morning I had porridge, which comes from a pack. It tastes pretty much just like porridge. And I had that, and that'll keep me going. Then later on I'll probably have a bar, which is a high protein bar. And then later on what I tend to do, supposed to really spread them out, but I like to feel like I'm having one meal a day. So maybe a spaghetti bolognese or a chili made from the powders. Next week, I'm probably going to introduce some food and do what they call the lifestyle diet, where you mix food and the product. It's a tough one. Some people will say, yeah, well, if you're doing a very low calorie diet and total food replacement, how are you ever going to sustain it when you stop doing it this way? But I'm like, Jesus, I was 30 stone and I was 410 pounds. I was 186 kilograms. And now I've lost 30 kgs. Now I've lost 5 stone. So, yeah, I'll cross those bridges when I come to them. Let's worry about today and tomorrow and next week. And 6 months down the line, I'll have other challenges and I'll just have to get my head around them. But any advice I can get from the TikTok family and people who've suffered from binge eating disorders, people who've done extreme diets, it's all appreciated. I really do appreciate the feedback that I get. Maybe don't get time to reply to everyone because I'm trying to be working, look after the family, like any person really. So a little bit more about me. I talked about how COVID messed me up. Thank God. None of my immediate family have been affected in any really drastic way, and we're blessed for that. Our problems are nothing like what some people have experienced, and I'll get that out straight up. Where it challenged us, though, was we were living in Shanghai, in China, and we went to Bali for a holiday, Chinese New Year, me and the 2 children that were my wife. And during that time when we were in Bali is when COVID broke out beyond Wuhan and started spreading across China, and we weren't sure what to do. So we went to England, which is my home. My wife has a visa, so we're all right. So we went to England. And I wasn't sure what to do. And then my wife said, no, she needs to go to Zambia, see her family, I was like, okay, that makes sense. So my wife and the children went to Zambia. Oh, and at this time, yes, at the same time, my wife was just announced she was pregnant when we were in Bali as well. So yeah, that's another thing. But anyway, so the family went to Zambia, and then I got the call about a week later I should go back to Shanghai. So I went back to Shanghai, and I stayed working there for another year. I had to, got to feed the family, got to look after the children, etc. So I stayed working in Shanghai, And then eventually I'm like, no, I've got to go back to the family. And I moved to Morocco because the borders were open and people from the UK or anywhere could enter Morocco. And don't you just know, within a week, the borders had closed and my family couldn't join me. So I worked in Casablanca, Morocco for 6 months. And then that's when I kind of got back into a bit more binge eating and drinking alcohol, particularly at weekends. Not so much in the week because I have to work. And the weight crept back on. I was already fat, but crept on even more. And I got back to England. I'm reunited with the family. I can get Slim and Save delivered to where I'm staying. And because of that, hi there, farmer. Nice to meet you. And because I was reunited with the family, I'm in a good place. I'm in my happy place because I'm with my wife and children. And because I'm with my wife and children, I'm in a happy place. I'm in the right frame of mind to diet. And I'm really on a roll. But we don't know what's around the corner. My wife is in the UK on a temporary visa. She's entitled to be here essentially half the year, but she can't just live here. And that's going to be a stress. Because of COVID, we've always been able to extend her visa. So fair play. The immigration authorities have allowed that. But now Zambia's off the red list. It may change everything. We're going to have to see what we can do. I'm open-minded to go overseas again. Can't get hold of my diet products though. But cross that bridge again. Lots of bridges to cross. So I don't know what's around the corner. But no, I got this job on Monday. It's in Kent in the southeast of England. And I'm prepared now to come back and live in England after 10 years away. Could be good for the kids. I'm still open-minded to getting back international. Great thing about working in education, there's lots of doors. It's quite a stressful job. But yeah, there's lots of doors that can open for us, lots of opportunity. Anyone here is looking for a head of school or senior leader in school, and also give me a shout because that'd be cool. Particularly if you haven't got if you haven't got prejudice against fat blokes, that'd be brilliant. Where am I now? We're in Herefordshire in the west of England. I'm currently working at a call centre for a large sporting chain, and it's all right. It's not what I've kind of done all my career. I've been in education 26 years, teacher, then senior teacher. But the call centre, the bit I love about it is you just leave the stress when you leave. When you leave work, you just don't have to think about it. Where working in education, you can never switch off. You go home and there's always something on your mind, as a school leader. You're dealing with a parent, you're dealing with teachers, you're dealing with children. And it's a highly stressful life. I love it. And I never thought I'd do anything else. But the call centre, okay, but it's low pay. But it's keeping food on the table. I see the fighter. Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you, bro. I'm good. Just waiting on the wife right now. Benefit of working in the call centre is we get discounted clothing. So she's gone shopping. Disadvantage, obviously, she's going to spend our money. But hey, that's what it's there for, I guess. So anyway, in a nutshell, it's ups and downs of life. Got this interview on Monday. If I get it, then my wife can more than likely start to apply for a visa to remain in the UK, and we can maybe put down some roots. But I got itchy feet. I've lived in a number of countries. Like I said, I'm married to a Zambian. I've lived in Zambia, I've lived in Malawi, I've lived in Botswana, I've lived in Nigeria and Morocco on the African continent. And I've also spent some years in France and China as well as the UK. So I like to move around. But then I think for the children, the little fellas in the back here, maybe you can hear him. A little bit of snoring. That's Kian. He's the one who we found out my wife was pregnant when we were in Bali when COVID broke out. He's the one. It was almost like I did a hit and run. my wife was there. We were all together, and then I didn't see her for the rest of the pregnancy and didn't meet him till he was 9 months. So that is one of the reasons of the stress which induces binge eating. To get back to the theme of the video, binge eating disorder is real, and it's something I've suffered from, and when I get stressed I can go back to it. So I'm really trying to be in a good place and stay happy and not to get stressed. Same. One other thing, I said about going for job interviews and being perceived as the fat, kind of greedy person, is the other thing I recognise And I'm not just saying this because most people who like my videos are female, but it is a lot worse for women. I think being a fat man, you meet all sorts of discrimination, but not to the extent that a big beautiful woman meets. I think women tend to get it more harsh, and I recognise that, and I recognise that part of the privilege of being male is that you can laugh it off more. You can be the fat bloke with the lads, and every group of lads is a fat bloke, and you get away being a bit jovial, being the joker, and I think it's much harder on the ladies out there, and I feel that. And the other thing, obviously being married to a black African woman, I recognise that the discrimination that I would complain about as being discriminating as a fat bloke is absolutely incomparable to the discrimination that people of colour will suffer from in life. Okay, but one thing I would say is it is wrong to discriminate against fat people and to think that people who are morbidly obese have made a choice to be so. I really doubt that there's anyone out there who has made a choice to be morbidly obese. There may be people who would say otherwise, and I respect that, but I think the vast majority of us, I'll change to everyone, the vast majority of us who are morbidly obese haven't done so by choice. It's not a lifestyle. It's something that some deep psychological issues that cause us to rely upon food for more than comfort, but to binge eat, to relieve maybe stress or depression. So it's not the fat people have made a choice. So it's not that we're a legitimate target because it's our fault that we're fat. I really refute that. Whether it's genetic, whether it's nature or nurture is open to debate. And sometimes I will accept that I could have been stronger, but is being able to overcome an eating disorder a question of strength? Do people with binge eating disorder receive the same kind of compassion as most people would show to people with anorexia or bulimia? And should we? It's a different condition, but it's still a condition which we suffer from. And I'm not looking for sympathy, but I am trying to raise awareness. And part of the reason why I've made TikTok videos is to raise awareness. And I recognise the platform which I'm using, and the ones I also share on YouTube and sometimes Instagram, the platform I'm using requires me to draw attention to myself. And if I make a lot of videos like this where I'm talking quite seriously about myself and about a weight loss journey and the challenges that I face, people aren't going to watch the videos. So thus I'll do the silly stuff, I'll do the playing around, I'll play around with the filters, with the different ways of using the text and the music, and do some dancing and be the funny fat bloke. Maybe funny, hopefully sometimes. Because I'm trying to draw attention to the issues that I'm raising. The videos which I prefer to make are the ones more like this, and the ones which I do intersperse here and there, where I talk more seriously about the issues, because I know there's other people out there who are suffering. And there's also the kind of double-edged sword that it's really important to accept ourselves for who we are and to be confident in our bodies and to have a positive body image. And that can be for big, beautiful men, which I would say I am, and for big, beautiful ladies. It's important that, that we accept who we are, but at the same time want to make change. But the change isn't because of own negativity. So the reason why I'm on a weight loss journey and trying to overcome binge eating disorder isn't because it's going to make me a better person or a different person. It's because it's going to make me a healthier person, a more mobile person, someone who can play on the floor with my children, someone who can jump up and down, and someone who can be more active, more healthy, and hopefully increase my lifespan, meaning that I can watch this little baby in the back who's just turned 1 grow up and maybe graduate from school, from college, maybe get married. And maybe by being more healthy, then I may deter certain illnesses which affect the morbidly obese. By the grace of God, I'm not type 2 diabetic, but I will be if I don't lose weight. I only have minor issues. I've got hypertension, but that's mainly due to genetic reasons. Both my parents have hypertension and my brother, who isn't as big as me. So, yeah, I've got lucky. But how long do you keep getting lucky? I'm 52. Yeah, I know. Like comments, you don't look 52, mate. You look like you're only 40, if that. Yeah. Maybe not. Anyway, I'm 52 and I really need to sort it. Oh, am I 52? I'm not 52. I'm 51. I'll be 52 in a couple of months. Geez, you get old, don't you? You start losing track of time. But anyway, it's fun talking about these things because I'm not the sort of person who can easily open up. I'm not the sort of person who would talk to my friends and family about the weight loss journey, and now I'm talking to strangers, to people I've encountered on social media, which is kind of weird, but it's therapeutic, it's cathartic, it's helping me to be able to talk to you guys. I'm kind of an introvert by nature, so to do this on this platform where potentially thousands of people could watch, probably 12, but potentially thousands. I don't feel that I'm being watched by a lot of people. It's kind of weird being an educator who's an introvert, but yeah. But I love the stage, and I love being the centre of attention, which again seems a bit perverse if I'm saying an introvert. But where I'm less comfortable is in groups of people, where making small talk, getting to know new people, that's where I'm less comfortable. On stage, being centre of attention, leading assemblies in my line of work, my normal line of work, I love it. But I've been in a classroom, I love it. That's my stage. But at heart, I'm an introvert. Hi Karen, so do I use a program to lose weight or just a lifestyle change? It's a little bit of both, but the main thing is I'm following a very low calorie diet and using a total food replacement called Slim and Save. So I will either eat powdered food, which you add boiling water to make a meal. There are bars, which some of them are lovely, which are high protein bars. And you can also use shakes, which you drink, but psychologically, I like to think like I'm eating something, and I'm also thinking that if I do a liquid replacement, that how am I going to revert back to eating food? The next stage of the diet is to reintroduce food and to have a mixture, but I'm looking to throw off substantial amount of weight, and yes, I know I'm cheating to some people, and I know there'll be difficulties in sustaining the weight loss because of the methodology that I'm using. But as I said earlier, what can I do? I drastically need to lose weight. This way has helped me to throw off these 30 kgs. And yeah, can I have a phone? Hey, who's that? Chicken or hot dog? I don't know if that's your real name, eh? I don't think so. Well, you want to talk to me on the phone? I don't know what you mean. Anyway, no, I don't know if my wife would want me talking to people one-to-one. I think she's out at the TikTok. And she's really encouraging me as well. This is cool. And she found me as a fat lad, found me as a big boy, and loved me for who I am. And that's, millions of reasons why I love her, but that's one, is the acceptance. And I'd advise, like I say, I know there's a lot of women who watch my videos more than men. I read the analytics. That don't look past the fat guy when you're looking at guys to date or even potentially marry. The fat guy is just the same as any other guy. Just the modern world is obsessed with aesthetics and the aesthetic of the slim, of the muscular, body image being more attractive to the eye. But when you're sitting on the sofa cuddling up to someone, when you're just chatting, when you're hanging out, it doesn't really matter the size of the person you're with. So, there's a lot of people who are very shallow in the world today, and I'll be one of them, I'm sure. But, it's really important to try to see people for who they are. And that it's easier said than done. And one thing, in some ways, it's tougher doing a very low-calorie diet when you're in your 50s. But in other ways, it's easier. It's tougher because, obviously, habits become lifestyles and they become deeply ingrained, and it's much harder to shift them. But the other side of the coin, and the positive thing about being older, is you kind of start to know what you want a little bit more. And now I'm at this stage where I'd say, as much as I'd say I'm doing it for my wife and children, I'm doing it for myself. I am keen to be on this mortal coil for more time, at least another couple of decades. I don't think my job is done on this earth. I think in terms of raising my children, as I've said, but also, I'm still not done. I'm still kind of ambitious in where I want to go in life. And to go where I want to go in life, I need to be thinner, to be accepted by people, to be seen, for my talents to be accepted, because I'm good at what I do. But for me to be truly accepted for who I am, it's tough when you're in a fat body. So I'm a skilled educator. I'll say it myself. I've worked with a lot of Americans, and compared to us British, Irish guys, they're very good at self-promotion. There's a lot of humility among the British, among themselves anyway. I've lived in Africa, and it's a different sort of arrogance there, of course, being the white man in Africa sort of thing. But the British, compared to Americans, I think there's a lot more humility. So it's more difficult to sell yourself. So this part of humility means that I've kind of lost my thread, which isn't good for a live video. This kind of idea of being humble means that you don't put yourself forward, so people just look at you at face value. And being a big guy, it can be quite difficult for people to take you seriously. So I'm very good at what I do. That's what I was saying about being humble. I'll say it, I'm very good at what I do. I'm a good school leader. I'm great with the children. I have great relationships with my colleagues. I have tremendous respect from the people I lead and manage, because I am who I am. I'm just a genuinely fairly decent guy. And other people will tell you that. It's not just me saying it. I'm a decent bloke and I see the best in people. But I've kind of hit that glass ceiling, which other people hit for far more ingrained reasons in society than being overweight. But I'm okay to be a head of a secondary school in a school where there's a principal above me or a school leader. But to be the one actually who's the figurehead, who represents the school, definitely people are reluctant to give that job to a fat bloke or a fat woman, even more difficult. Most school leaders I've worked with, and look in business, they will be at least 6'2", at least 190 centimetres in metric, and tall and slim, and male, and white. Okay, and I meet most of the criteria, but the fat bit doesn't help. Now, I know it's a lot worse for women, it's a lot worse for people of colour, it's a lot worse for people, different religions and sexuality and all the rest of it. But yeah, I hit a glass ceiling. Maybe... Sexy man. You're having a laugh, mate. Yeah, my first one, flush potato. Flush potato has been... we've been following each other for a while. Yeah, my first live one, so thanks, mate. Yeah, definitely a glass ceiling because of the weight. So I kind of want to put a lot more of the stuff on LinkedIn, which I'm also pretty active on in my professional life, and just say, all right, I'm good at what I do, but I'm fat. That doesn't change how good I am at my job. So why don't you employ me? Why don't I get promoted? Why am I overlooked? And I know some of you watching this and you're thinking, yeah, well, welcome to our world, because, I'm a woman, it's worse for us. Or I'm a black man, it's worse for us. Or, I'm an Asian man, or I'm gay. Of course it's worse. And again, I want to emphasize that I get that completely. But being fat is also a challenge. I made a video about Ricky Gervais, or Gervais, maybe, and about he attacks fat people as if it's one group of people in society who are still fair game. It's all right to joke about fat people. Most groups now, it's off limits, and rightly so. But taking the mickey out of fat people is all right. And am I just sensitive because I'm in that particular demographic? Maybe to some extent. But I've also, worked in education, and I've seen teenagers are overweight, and I've seen the depth of depression that they get into. And, I think it's far worse today in the world of social media and international communications, and the world's a small place, and the pressures on teens are worse than they were for me growing up in the 80s. And because of that, I don't know if it's wise to be joking about it. I mean, there's like lines in the sand, isn't there, that we don't really see comedians attacking people because they got eating disorders when it's bulimia or where it's anorexia. They know that's one step too far, quite rightly. But yet, when it comes to binge eating disorder, fat people, it's very, oh yeah, you're fat because you're greedy, you're fat because you're lazy. Yeah, to me it's cheap. It's too simple, and there's no way that I think that I'm part of any oppressed minority. No, but I am within a group who are discriminated against. So, I'm trying to be careful how I phrase this, because I'm aware of all the privileges that I have, and I'm not going to be some sort of victim because I'm fat. And I can change. You see, this is the thing. I can lose weight. It takes a lot, and it means overcoming the psychological disorder, but I can change. Whereas people who are also discriminated against for other reasons can't change. You can't change where you're from, what language you speak. You can't change your sexuality, although some people may try, but you can't. So I can lose weight, and I am losing weight. So onwards I'll go, and I'll try to keep having a laugh doing it, and I'll try to maybe even inspire people. I don't know how many of these live things I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do some more. It depends. Give me some feedback if you like. If you like the live videos, I can do more. Right now my wife's shopping. I'm in the car with the little, the baby. The other two are with their grandparents. But yeah, someone's joined me. Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
You
how
okay?
are you?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, just
Good.
in the car. My first live.
Is it your first one?
Yeah.
Or do you want to play your first match with me, yeah?
All right. Oh, someone else is here. What's the match thing then? I don't even know.
That's with us. People got to tap the screen.
All right. So we play a game, do we?
Yeah.
Oh, see, it's more popular or whatever.
I've only got 3 people watching.
I don't even know how many I've got.
It tells you at the top of the screen.
I got 5. So not yeah. So yeah, like my one.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's good. It's good change. I'm just in the car with my baby's in the back. So my wife's shopping. So they don't let the baby in, so I just sat in the car. I thought, I'll do a TikTok live. So you do a
That's all
few, eh?
right then. Nah, this is only about my 4th or 5th live.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're winning anyway.
I'm from Kent.
All right, yeah, I'm in Herefordshire, so in the west. So
Never been.
that's quite nice. The Wye Valley, quite a beautiful part of England. But So
Never been.
it's quite nice. The Wye Valley, quite a beautiful part of England. But yeah.